Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really harrowing reality. Imagine trying to exist, to sleep, eat, and live in a space the size of a standard closet. And not just anywhere, but right in the heart of one of the richest cities on the planet. Hong Kong has held the title for the world's most expensive housing market for over 14 years now. But the human cost behind that statistic? It's something you literally have to see to believe. So let's explore the micro-survival arc of those living in what are known as coffin homes. Now, before we get into the grueling mechanics of daily life, I really want you to think about this for a second. How do you survive in a space where it's physically impossible to stand up or even stretch your arms out? We're talking about spaces that, in some cases, aren't even wider than your own shoulders. The reality of how people endure this day in and day out is absolutely going to shock you. It fundamentally redefines what the human body and mind can actually adapt to. 200,000. That is the estimated number of people in Hong Kong who currently have absolutely no choice but to call these extreme spaces their home. We aren't just talking about a small handful of outliers here. This is a massive population of the working class, the elderly, and the vulnerable, all living entirely out of sight in a sprawling, incredibly wealthy metropolis. And then, well, there's the scale of this confinement. 16. That's the average size in square feet of these coffin homes. To put that into perspective for you, imagine utilizing a microscopic 16 square foot footprint as your living room, your kitchen, and your bedroom, all at the exact same time. It's almost unimaginable, right? It gets even crazier when you compare a coffin home to a standard Hong Kong prison cell. The contrast is honestly deeply unsettling. A prisoner actually gets 80 square feet of space. They have room to stand up, and they get a personal toilet. In that exact same 80 square foot footprint, landlords pack in up to 10 individual coffin homes, just stacked right on top of each other. Section 1. Inside 16 square feet. The physical reality of a concrete bamboo jungle. So how do these spaces even exist? Well, they're born from illegal, totally dangerous renovations. Basically, landlords take a standard 800 square foot apartment and mercilessly divide it into up to 30 of these claustrophobic units, because they literally split the floor horizontally to squeeze in an entirely extra level of people. The ceiling height is completely cut in half. The result? Dozens of people packed in like sardines without a single window for fresh air or sunlight, having to navigate corridors so narrow they use ladders as shoe racks. To survive in here, residents have to engineer every single inch of the space out of pure, absolute necessity. Think about it. Your bed is your dining table. You literally pull up a chair to your mattress just to eat. Those wall hooks, that's your entire closet. Your door holds all your electronics and cleaning supplies. One resident, a woman named Coco, who's lived in her unit for 10 years, actually mentioned a cockroach that got trapped and died right inside her rice cooker. I mean, your trash, the towel you dry off with, and your fast food wrappers are all kept mere inches from the pillow you lay your head on. Section 2. Mechanics of daily survival. Adapting to the extreme. Now, let's talk about the daily routine. Just getting dressed is this exhausting physical puzzle. When residents, like a part-time cleaner named M. Lee, need to change their clothes, they can't just hop out of bed and pull a shirt on. Because they literally cannot stand, they have to sit on their mattress, bend, and awkwardly twist their limbs. What takes you and me maybe 30 seconds. It takes them 10 full minutes of uncomfortable contortion just to put clothes on for the day. And beyond the tiny physical space, residents are constantly battling severe environmental hazards. Picture apparent temperatures hitting 110 degrees Fahrenheit in July inside a windowless box with absolutely zero ventilation. The indoor air is a staggering 4 times more polluted than safe breathing levels. And then there are the pests. Bedbugs are a massive crisis here. A single female bedbug can lay up to 500 eggs, biting residents relentlessly and even leading to anemia. It gets so bad that some residents literally choose to sleep on hard wooden boards without a mattress entirely, just to try and mitigate the infestations. The survival mechanics become even more perilous when it's time to eat. For those who simply cannot afford to buy cheap, unhealthy restaurant food every single day, cooking at home is a total nightmare. Remember, there are no kitchens, so residents prepare their meals in the shared, filthy communal bathroom. They're slicing meat and washing vegetables right next to, or sometimes even above, a lidless toilet, and using the exact same sink people use after going to the bathroom. This exposes them to incredibly serious risks of E. coli and salmonella contamination.
Section 3. Economics of Extreme Poverty. The Financial Trap of Hong Kong Housing.
You might be wondering, why on earth would someone pay for this? Take M. Lee, the part-time cleaner we just talked about. Her entire monthly income is only $650, and the rent for her tiny 16-square-foot bedbug-infested box, $320. Exactly half of her entire income goes strictly to keeping a roof mere inches above her head. There is literally nowhere else they can afford to go. Because even renting a very basic, single-bedroom apartment in an average neighborhood in Hong Kong, that costs around $4,000 a month. What is just so staggering here is that this extreme poverty exists directly alongside immense, unimaginable wealth. Think about this. Just 75 ultra-rich individuals own 10% of Hong Kong's entire fortune. The remaining 90% is left for the other 7.5 million people. It creates this massive, heartbreaking gap. It's like day and night. The city's elite are cruising around in luxury cars, while the lowest income bracket doesn't even get enough square footage to breathe safely. For many, the only way out of this trap is getting into government public housing, but the system is completely overwhelmed. Get this, a minimum wage worker would literally need to save for 1,000 years to buy a 3-bedroom apartment in this city. So they naturally apply for public housing. But the waitlist to access these lower-rent government homes stretches out for more than 10 years. For a resident trapped in a coffin home, watching their physical and mental health slowly deteriorate from lack of movement and fresh air, a decade feels a lot less like a line and a lot more like a life sentence. This brings us to a really heartbreaking quote from a resident named John. He's a larger man who has lived in these conditions for 18 years. Actually, he's so big he cannot even close the door to his unit. His left shoulder permanently sticks out into the hallway. When asked about his future, his response was grim, probably in a grave. Living without space to move around slowly but surely destroys the body. John said he's afraid to go outside for fear his legs will just give out and collapse. It really highlights the profound, crushing psychological toll and the hopelessness this environment breeds. Section 4. No escape in death. The final lack of space. Space is so incredibly scarce in Hong Kong that even in death, there is just no relief. A single basic burial plot was recently sold for this astonishing amount, $128,000. It is a staggering reality that in this city, it is quite literally harder and sometimes way more expensive to own a grave than it is to own a home in many other parts of the world. No way around it, that's just mind-blowing. Because permanent plots are vastly unaffordable for the working class. Most people are forced to rent public graves. Yeah, you heard that right. Renting a grave. A body rests there for a maximum of 6 years. After that time is up, the body actually must be exhumed and cremated, and the ashes are then placed in a tiny drawer no bigger than a shoebox. It means that for these residents who spend their entire lives crammed into tiny boxes, even in death, there is no permanent space to rest. Now the Hong Kong government has officially promised to end this housing crisis by the year 2049. But let's be realistic for a second. That is a lifetime away for the roughly 220,000 people currently stuffed into these terrible claustrophobic homes. Many of them are elderly, they're kept out of sight, effectively hidden from the eyes of the rich, enduring unbelievable hardship just to survive another day in the concrete bamboo jungle. So, I want you to take a moment and really consider the extreme human cost of the urban density and economic inequality we've explored today. When a society reaches a point where surviving means squeezing into a 16-square-foot box and death means renting a shoebox-sized drawer, what does that say about the value of space? And, more importantly, what does it say about the value of life? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning the world around you, and I'll catch you next time.